Okay, so things just got crazy as the Philadelphia Eagles just went out and made a huge move that is going to completely transform the offense this upcoming season, as they've officially hired Kellen Moore to be their new offensive coordinator, meaning that massive changes are coming to the offense. And there's reason to believe that Moore is going to be able to fully unlock Jalen Hurts, DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and the rest of the Eagles offense this upcoming season, and restore them as one of the most dominant offenses in the entire NFL. So let's break it all down, and we won't waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're going to get to the hiring of Kellen Moore and what it means for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in just a minute, but first I want to talk about one little thing. As Eagles safety Smitty Brown underwent successful ACL reconstruction surgery yesterday, as he shared this picture on social media, so that's definitely great news and I wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's back out there as soon as possible, because I really am a big fan of Sid, and I think he can turn into a phenomenal player for this Eagles defense sometime in the near future. My only question is, why did they wait this long to do the surgery when he got injured in the regular season finale? I mean, I'm sure there's an explanation, but I'm just curious, that's all. But nonetheless, again, let's all just wish Smitty Brown a speedy recovery, and drop a like down below for his surgery going smoothly. But now, getting into the main topic of today's video, the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, and his name is Kellen Moore. As Adam Schefter reported late last night, quote, "Another big assistant move in Philadelphia. Eagles are hiring former Chargers and Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator per sources. Eagles coordinators will now be Moore and Vic Fangio." So, the Eagles coordinator searches are now officially over, and I must say, I think they made out pretty well. And I think this hire of Moore specifically was a great hire. I mean, we've already got some positive feedback from the team, as Darius Slay replied to a report of the move on Instagram saying that he likes it, and Slay, I couldn't agree more. I mean, there are a lot of reasons to be excited about this hire. Kellen Moore, despite being pretty young, already has a lot of experience as an NFL offensive coordinator and play caller. He's considered a great offensive mind by some. His offenses have typically had a lot of success before. He's had multiple years with his offenses being towards the top of the league in points and yards, and I really just think there's a very good reason to believe that he's going to come in here and transform this Eagles offense. I mean, just remember back to this past season with Brian Johnson and think, what were the problems with him as the offensive coordinator? I mean, one, he was inexperienced. He had never been an offensive coordinator at the NFL level before, and he had never called plays. And another one was that there was no creativity in the offense whatsoever. All the route concepts were very, very basic, and as a result, guys were not getting open despite the amount of talent we had, and Brian Johnson refused to call plays that had receivers running over the middle of the field, despite the fact that that was very effective when the Eagles did decide to use it. Also, the offense lacked any sort of motion, which has been a trend for the entirety of the Nick Sirianni era, but this last year, the Eagles were dead last in utilizing motion at just a mere 10.9% rate, and they were also horrible against the blitz. Jalen Hurts had no answers against it. There was absolutely nowhere to go with the football because all the routes were down the field and no one was open. But the good thing is, it seems like a lot of that is going to be left in the past with Kellen Moore, because based off his track record and Nick Sirianni's comments that the offensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the offense, this is going to be a huge shakeup to the offense's identity, and a lot of these issues should be fixed. Listen to what Zach Berman tweeted out here saying, quote, "Kellen Moore to the Eagles as OC qualifies as a big hire for the Eagles, and he's someone the organization has had an eye on for a long time. He interviewed for the head coaching job in 2021. Moore is an experienced play caller who fits the fresh ideas column. The Chargers were number 8 in pre-snap motion last season. The Cowboys were number 1 in success rate against the blitz in 2022. So it seems like these issues of not being able to pick up the blitz or providing any answers against it, and also not using any pre-snap motion, are in the past. Now, just for reference, last year the Chargers offense used motion at a 25.9% rate compared to what I already said was just a 10.9% rate for the Eagles, so it seems like, again, a huge identity shift is coming for the Eagles offense." Now, Berman then continued on to praise Moore's offense, as Moore saying, quote, "Moore's offenses during the past 5 years have included 2 years in the top 5 in DVOA, with 2 seasons number 1 in the league in yards and once number 1 in points." So yeah, it's clear the guy has had a lot of success as an offensive coordinator in this league, and now he gets to bring that to the Eagles, where he will look to maximize a very, very talented offense. And at the end of the day, I think it's fair to say that the hire was made for the main reason of getting the most out of their franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I mean, last year, he was asked to do everything. He was put in bad positions by the coaching staff, and as a result, he had to overcome a lot to be successful, and this hire is going to change that, because like I said, there are going to be some big changes to the offense that are going to benefit Hurts. I mean, they're going to use motion, they're going to give him answers against the blitz, and they're actually going to put him under center sometimes, which that's only good because the Eagles didn't really do that at all this year either, and Moore is also great at getting guys open. He's one of the best in the league in that area, which is incredible because this past year, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert were all really ranked pretty low in terms of separation yards on their routes, and it's crazy considering their talent level, and that's not going to happen with Kellen Moore. I mean, just look at some of these route charts from Keenan Allen last year. This is a foreign concept to what the Eagles ran this past year, and just imagine DeVonta Smith running this route tree. With his route running ability, he's going to be unstoppable. I mean, we've all been saying that the Eagles don't use Smitty the right way, and that's going to change, and then obviously it's going to help the other guys too. A.J. Brown's great over the middle in his catch and runs. These guys are really just going to have a field day in this offense. I mean, just take a look here at some of the creativity that Kellen Moore's offense displays as Moore himself breaks it all down.
We're going to run loop pass, which the quarterback's going to reverse out. We're going to get the running back right in the flat as the number one. A corner route is number two. We'll get an over route and then that Y. Okay, he becomes a late outlet. Okay, we call it a chief. He's just a late outlet. So he's going to act like he's setting the edge. Okay, and then he's going to become a late outlet here, and we should be good to go. So again, off the same presentation, basically, we're going to Y hustle, force the defense to bump. Now we're going to flock. Okay, obviously run times have to be adjusted there. We loop out. Okay, now what do they got? They got a nickel and a backer, both taking the flat. Okay, here comes the late chief route, becoming a late outlet here. Hey, we're in standard huddle, but let's still challenge the defense. Force them to communicate, force them to be on the same page, trust their eyes. Get them in the right spot.
I absolutely love this. I mean, I really do. And I think that just based off of this and everything we've already talked about, the passing game is going to take it to a new level under Moore. Now, the question is, well, what about the running game? Well, that may be somewhat of an area of concern because Moore is more of a pass-heavy offensive coordinator, and last year with the Chargers, they were not great at running the football, but that's where Jeff Stoutland comes into play. He and the Eagles have to find a way, along with Moore, to make sure that the Eagles can find a balance in that area. Zach Berman spoke on this topic saying, quote, "The running game with the Chargers last season left much to be desired. This is where the return staff concepts, including Jeff Stoutland as a run game coordinator, would blend with Kellen Moore's concepts as a passing offense. The spring/summer will be pivotal for installation." Again, the Eagles and Moore just got to find a way to have a balance on offense. They obviously can't solely rely on the passing game, but I still think this hiring is clearly a massive upgrade and is going to make the Eagles offense a whole lot better. Oh, and to the crowd that's criticizing Moore because Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense had somewhat of a down year offensively, then just listen to what Outside the Bird said here. Quote, "I see people are blaming Justin Herbert's, quote, struggles last season on Kellen Moore. It's time to play a game and put things into perspective. Let's imagine that Jalen Hurts missed 4 games, A.J. Brown missed 14 games, DeVonta Smith missed 4 games, and DeAndre Swift missed 3 games. Yet then Hurts still threw for 3,134 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Would you be upset with that? No, I don't think I would be at all. And just overall, I really do think that this was a great hire. I'm really excited about this, and I think it was the right move. And I can't wait to see this Eagles offense under Moore. Oh, and one more thing. The Eagles hired Frank Reich from the Chargers and won a Super Bowl. They hired Shane Steichen from the Chargers and went to the Super Bowl. Now they've hired Kellen Moore from the Chargers, so I'm again really excited to see what happens because maybe another Super Bowl victory could be on the way very soon. I hope at least. Now, if you want more Eagles coverage just like this coming throughout this entire offseason, we got you covered here on this channel, so make sure you go down right now, subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you don't miss any other Eagles coverage just like this. Also, if you did enjoy this video and want to show some support, make sure you drop a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also, leave a comment down below just regarding anything that I talked about in this video. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over a lot more news from the past few days, you can check this one out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.